going on, Vikings fans? Welcome into Vikings Now by Chat Sports. First off, happy Friday. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the madness of March and watching these college basketball games. But coming up on today's show, the Vikings got some great news on the NFL draft in terms of one high-end defensive lineman prospect is supposedly visiting with the Minnesota Vikings. Then also Camryn Bynum. He was showing J.J. McCarthy all types of love. It is an awesome quote, and you guys got to stay till the end of this video to check that out, but please do so. But speaking about the NFL draft, if you guys want the Vikings to crush this year's NFL draft, go down there, hit that thumbs up icon. I know this has been Kwesi's kind of fatal flaw as a GM, so if you guys want him to have a really good 2025 NFL draft, get the good vibes heading his way, just drop a like on today's show. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. So what's the great news? Well, apparently the Vikings plan to meet with Oregon interior defensive lineman Derrick Harmon. Look at how big that body is. We need more big bodies on the interior, and Derrick Harmon is just that. But it was actually ESPN's Ryan Fowler who had this quote saying the Minnesota Vikings are expected to host Oregon defensive lineman Derrick Harmon for a 30 visit per league source. Harmon ranked first in college football among interior defensive linemen in pressures this fall with 55. With 43 hurries and 5 sacks. Side note, Vikings defensive line coach Marcus Dixon was in attendance at Oregon's Pro Day on Tuesday. And, I think the Vikings are in an interesting spot with this draft where I understand a lot of us are in the viewpoint that, they should just go BPA. Like, whoever that player is, just draft him. But also, I think with how stacked this defensive line class is, and still with the Vikings, I don't want to say they have a need there because front three guys of Phillips, Hargrave, and Allen are going to be ridiculous, but the depth behind that, I wouldn't hate the Vikings tossing a first-round pick at a guy like this, Derrick Harmon. 55 pressures from the interior last year is ridiculous. And, he does do a great job of when Oregon's running a lot of these stunts. He's got just great instincts to manufacture his way to the quarterback. And, 55 pressures from the interior, yes, a lot of those were created off stunts and pressures, but, he also had a lot of just, hey, I'm outmanning you. I am just over, dominating you on the interior of the defensive line. And actually, my pro comp for him is a guy who played, I think, 13 seasons in the NFL, was awesome with the Buffalo Bills, Daquan Jones. Just that big interior body. He can take on double-team blocks. He can allow guys like Blake Cashman, Ivan Pace just have more clear rushing lanes. And also, I love the idea of him learning from a Jonathan Allen or a Javon Hargrave. But I do want to share with you guys this quote from the 33rd team. Shout out to Rick Spielman over there. But he said, Derrick Harmon projects best as a 3-tech at the NFL level. His movement skills are most impactful when he's playing forward, although he could play as an end on odd front if he illustrates better leverage discipline. Harmon is likely a rotational defender early in his NFL career before developing into a high-volume snap taker by the end of his rookie contract. And that's also why I think the Vikings are a good spot, because he wouldn't need to come in and play, 800 snaps his rookie season. He'd probably get around what Dallas Turner got last year. 200, 300 snaps, just a rotational guy, but that will allow him to develop. So my quick scouter report on him. He's got a wicked good first step. Like his get-off speed and his explosion, it's definitely there. And he has great technique. Like this guy, if I was a coach and I was like, hey, go watch an interior defensive lineman, just how their technique is, talking about just leverage. He is that, and he's got great size. He's 6'5", 311 pounds. Now, he does need to finish better. I did notice on a couple of plays, he would get to the quarterback. It just comes down to bringing him on the ground. But still, when he's getting there, most of the time it just resulted in one of his other teammates getting the sack. But he does have high pad level at times, and for a big guy, a little concerning, but also I think with, the Vikings, they'll be able to coach that out of him. And listen, I love the idea of the Vikings drafting another interior defensive lineman to pair up with Dallas Turner because, excuse me, 2 years from now, when Hargrave and Allen aren't on this team, I don't want the Vikings panicking that offseason, be like, oh, man, we got to go get a guy. Like, you could already have a guy like Derrick Harmon in this organization, and he's year 3 of the NFL, and he's like, yeah, you're going to step up into a starting role and hopefully be one of the better interior defensive linemen in the league. So I like the idea, getting that interior guy, pair him up with Dallas Turner, and that's kind of your foundation, like thinking big picture for the Vikings defensive line. But there are some other defensive tackles out there that I'd be thrilled about. Like, obviously, Mason Graham's going to go top 10. If Kenneth Grant's there, you take him. I think Walter Nolan will probably end up being a top 20 pick, but you also got Darius Alexander, big fan of him as well. Then you got a guy like TJ Sanders. He's more of that pass rush, long arm defensive tackle. He's got great moves, but Joshua Falmer as well, Jamari Caldwell, Tyleek Williams, I'm a big fan of him, and Alfred Collins as well. He is a stud. And I understand we all want to go BPA, and the Vikings defensive line is absolutely loaded here. But this draft class is too talented to not draft one, whether that's in the 3rd round, the 5th round, or the 1st round. Like, the Vikings need to leave this class with at least just one defensive lineman. I understand we all want to go BPA, but you just look at what the Eagles have done over the last couple of years. Even when they have loaded defensive lines, they value that position so much. So, speaking about defensive linemen, you guys comment below. Name a defensive tackle you want the Vikings to draft. My guy's still Kenneth Grant. Just got a love for him. I think he's going to really work out at the next level. But, hey, you guys comment your thoughts down below. Name a defensive tackle that you want the Minnesota Vikings to draft. We'll show you guys what Camryn Bynum had to say about J.J. McCarthy here in just a second. But before we do so, I got to tell you guys about a new sponsor here at Vikings Now, House of Atlas. Now, House of Atlas is a brand new shaving company, and they gifted us one of their razors. And honestly, guys, I'm kind of blown away. Not only does it look insanely sleek sitting in my bathroom, but it gives me an incredibly close shave. It feels weird to gush over a lineup of shaving products, but truly House of Atlas makes some one-of-a-kind stuff. Not to mention their products are all designed to look like they should have their own tech reveal. First of all, this House of Atlas razor looks sick. It has a sleek design, easy to hold and maneuver with a nice weight to it. I got the blue one, and it is truly one of the best looking razors I have ever seen. And the coolest part is the precision trim edge that is revealed by flipping back the serum strip for straight edges and detailing. I've also been liking the shave cream thick formula that shows me where I'm shaving and leaves my skin baby bottom soft. Now, if you guys have been watching the show for the last couple of months, you know I've been trying to grow a beard of my own. I've never been able to grow a beard in my life, but House of Atlas has came into my life and has changed my life. They have made this process so much easier, and personally for me, a guy who has never had a beard, this company has really helped me out. And if you guys have a beard or you're trying to grow a beard, trust me, you want to take advantage of this. Go click that link in the bottom in the description and comment section of today's show. And now for a limited time, they're offering 15% off your first order. And when you purchase any razor kit and the before and after set, which includes the Precision Shave Cream and Calming Aftershave, use code CHAT at houseofatlas.com. That's HOUSEOFATLAS.com with promo code CHAT for 15% off your new razor kit and before and after set. Stop wasting time and money on shaving products that don't look good, aren't effective, and cost way too much. Visit houseofatlas.com today. Trust me, you'll love it as much as I did. All right, let's talk about what our good old friend Camryn Bynum had to say about J.J. McCarthy. And I hate saying good old friend. I wish Cam Beasley was still on the Minnesota Vikings. But, you know, he got paid by the Colts. All types of love for him. I'm very happy for him and his family. And he deserves every single cent of that contract. But he actually hopped on a sports show, I believe this was yesterday, talking about J.J. McCarthy. And he said, I trust him. JJ's somebody that I trust. Just a leader first and foremost. The way that he carried himself as a leader, but also still following the right way and still listening and humbling himself to learn from the other guys. But the one thing that stood out to me from him, as soon as he got in, he was throwing that ball. He was a gunslinger in practice. 1st and 10, simple concepts. He's throwing the deep ball. He's trying to fire it downfield. That's something that I respected out of a rookie. Going forward after his injury, he's sitting there in the defensive team meeting room trying to learn our defense and trying to learn any way he can. He's kind of a maniac when it comes to football. I can't underestimate how big this is or how just great this makes me feel about the future of the Vikings. And every player that has played with J.J. McCarthy has just raved about him. Like, they call him a sicko. He just loves football. That's all he cares about. And when you have a guy like that, especially just the story about him wanting to go, sit in on the defensive team meetings, like, that's awesome. He's just trying to get every little information he can because he really believes he can be one of the all-time greats in the NFL. It's just going to come down to the want to. But Beasley also had this to say on JJ, saying the way that he carried himself while he was hurt, I can only imagine how he will carry himself when he's healthy. When they give him the keys to the program to be able to just go and carry himself as that leader, and they let him know, you're the guy. We're rolling with you. I think JJ is going to grow And like I say, J.J.'s somebody I can trust. And, I was hearing Camryn Bynum talk about J.J. McCarthy. Kind of got me emotional. Like, even though I was in the camp, Vikings should let him walk. You can't pay Cam Bynum $15 million if you're going to go pay Byron Murphy. You also just gave Harrison Smith that deal. You gave Theo Jackson that deal. And I was, in the camp that I wanted the Vikings to let him walk. But now I'm looking back at it and I'll be like, man, I'd kill to have Camryn Bynum back on the Minnesota Vikings. Just the vibes and the great guy he was. And he was a damn good football player for this team. But I do want to get this. And maybe I should have put this at the front of today's show because I truly believe this. I think J.J. McCarthy will get the most out of just his natural ability. Because I think he is a sicko competitor. He will get whatever his max potential is in life as a quarterback, whether that's the greatest quarterback of all time, whether that's a one-year bust in the NFL, he will get that max potential. I have no concerns about his work ethic, about him being a leader. Whatever his ceiling is, JJ will reach that ceiling because this guy is a sicko competitor. And like Camryn Bynum said, he's a maniac when it comes to the game of football. He wants to learn about everything. It's not just about, sitting back there, being a gunslinger, which was also great to hear that Camryn Bynum was saying JJ was throwing that ball all over the lot as a rookie. But just the point I'm trying to make here with JJ, it feels good to have a quarterback where you can fully trust him getting the most out of himself. And that is a great spot to be because, listen, we've had other quarterbacks like Christian Ponder, former first-round pick. Was he the hardest worker? Absolutely not. We've seen guys like Jay Cutler, big-time arm, unreal, just natural talent, but he was nowhere near his max potential because he didn't put the work in as much as I think a guy like J.J. McCarthy. He will do this. He's a sicko, and he's a maniac when it comes to the game of football. But you guys let me know, who is your pro comp for J.J. McCarthy? I go a guy like Joe Burrow. Obviously, Burrow's a little taller. I think just a little more natural, just ability at the quarterback position. But he kind of reminds me of like an Alex Smith with swag. An Alex Smith with aura. I'll go with that. But you guys let me know, who's your pro comp for J.J. McCarthy? And also, I'm on Twitter, at Pat Sieps, the Twitter handle. Give me a follow over there, and I'll give you guys a follow right on back. See you guys next time. Let's go Vikes.